that I
to
see
you.
on my screen.
Hmm.
You're first, Avi.
Okay. Good morning. Um, so what are we reviewing?
What are you grateful for? That's the first thing.
What am I grateful for? Okay, beautiful. Yes. Um, what am I grateful for? I'm grateful for the market research community. I have never been around like I've been around kind of nerds my entire life. Um, I've never been around nerds so concerned with um, kind of getting things right and and ethics. Like I remember I was I was at this insurance conference, this big insurance conference at the Hyatt in New York, and one of the CEOs of the largest insurance companies gets up there, and this wasn't even for health insurance. This was like PNC insurance and commercial insurance and things like that. And he goes, a lot of people think the insurance industry is evil, and I'm here to tell you it's not and why. And I was like, wow, that is like not how you start a keynote, right? That is like not something you hear in any other industry. And, after going through the math, I am convinced that the insurance industry, uh, it's not entirely evil, but like there's no mechanism to discourage evil. Um, and therefore, it's it's got a lot of incorrect incentives. But in the market research industry, in the market research community, people really seem to care about doing things right. Now, I think there was like more empathy than math. I think a lot of I'm also grateful for the fact that I understand math because because a lot of the methods that I saw being used in market research in that space were um, not uh, not stable and not powerful. And and so yeah, so like I've never been more confident that we can kind of create an entire new industry with the work that we're doing. So yeah, so that's what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful to be around nerds that care to do things the right way. Oh, and then I'm working on outreach this week with Sarah and whoever else will help me.
Okay, thanks, Avi. Actually, this raises for me also the question of partnerships. I'll just put it out there, right? Uh, um, yeah, next is Chin.
Hi everyone. Good morning. Uh, good afternoon. Good evening, depending on where you are. Happy Monday. I am grateful for the rain that we're getting here in Bay Ridge. I think it's a nice change of pace. But yeah, the weather's been really unpredictable. It's hot one day and now it's like I don't know. Yesterday it was like nearly negative. Now it's raining. I don't know what's next. But uh, as for work, I just spoke to Tatavik, uh, and this is regarding the outreach. I also spoke to Pablo on Friday, and I have like I think I finalized on using Google Cloud Storage. So I think as far as the stack is concerned, we have some clarity, and also like a lot of the text that we're going to put, the dynamic text from the experiments that we're going to put into the email, it's already being saved, which is great news. uh, but we need to like figure out how to save like some of the graphs. I guess we'll like work with Linnea slash Week later on today and figure out the last of that. So yeah, I think things are looking good for the outreach stuff. As for the latent variable uh, stuff that we had a talk on Friday with, I implemented the very first API, and I'm gonna keep doing that, I guess, parallelly. I guess there's two more prompts that I need to implement, and they need to like connect with each other. So I'll be working on all that. I think I also like put out the idea of like having an experimentation branch. I don't know if that's overkill, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and create that just so we can have these APIs that probably won't make its way into production. Just having a safe place that everybody can test these things in. So probably make that branch soon today, and then probably push merge to that from my branch. Um, but yeah, are we? Yeah, that's so I think that's something we do, and um, that's great. But I guess my motivation is the fact that some of these features, even if they're like they can be feature flagged and they are being feature flagged, obviously. Uh, the problem is that if some of these things don't need to be in dev at all, like if they're never going to be triggered in dev, why may build a feature flag and even put it into dev slash prod? It's just like crowding the code base, right? For no reason. Like if it's something experimental, like we're trying to connect these prompts together and like understand what the latent variable is that something that the user will ever directly use? I think it's the results slash outcome of that we're going to use to build something else, right? Or that's my understanding of it at least. So I think yes, we can feature flag it, but I just think it's just a bit neater. But again, it's like the trade-off. Is it like too much trouble to have another branch and maintain that? Yeah, I mean you have a point about like the merges and stuff. So I don't know. Yeah, it's a trade-off. Every it's like a decision. But I don't think it's like a big deal. I think I think we should be able to manage it. I think I think it'll be fine. Uh, yeah, I guess I'll just say one thing and not drag this on, but I think I've just noticed like some of the earlier on when I did like the trait evaluation prompts and like uh there were like two different things that I did uh that I think the user doesn't necessarily use, but it found its way into dev and into prod. And like I'm not a fan of how like there's like nested error man like exception checks and everything that found its way into prod that don't necessarily need to be there. And I think it just there yeah, it is feature flagged. Yeah, it is not triggered, but I just feel like when you work on that code, it gets a little more complex because of all these flags that you have to manage. But yeah, anyway, I think we'll figure it out. You don't need to extend it. Yeah, that's all. Sure. Sure.
So next up is Florian. Thank you, Chin.
Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Um, yeah, so I've been working on the same stuff as last Friday that I said. So the perplexity, stabilizing the attributes and the attributes and levels, and working with Chin to finalize our market research so we can start sending all the emails. I haven't gotten much done because I have a lot of schoolwork that I'm trying to get done right now because I have deadlines at the end of this week. So I'll try and get it done ASAP and into dev.
And you have something you're grateful for, Florian?
Oh, uh, no, I think this week not much to be grateful for, just a lot of work.
Okay. Can be very simple stuff, you know. That's what they usually say. Just like coffee in the morning is good.
Let's go coffee in the morning. I like that one.
So now it's me. Yeah, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the interactions I've been having still. You know, I met Maddie this morning. He was very helpful trying to resolve some issues with authentication issues. So now I have the backup, the backend running. And yeah, I've just been finding nice people here, so that's great. In terms of the work, so yeah, so now I have the backend running. Let's see what I had here. Yeah, I'm going to go through the docs and then maybe pinging Mari for to ask him some questions. I need to sync up with Subodh at some point, review what me and Avi discussed last Friday, which is on GitHub. And yeah, I think, well, this will be an ongoing thing, but continuing to study about discrete trust models, I feel like I have the intuition it's important to really figure out how that's working, because maybe there's improvements we can do there. And I'm wondering actually whether we're having a problem of not having enough variability in the responses, or actually the model itself not having the expressivity that it needs to capture those subgroups. Anyways, it's a question. And yeah, I think that's it for me. And next up is Mari.
Oh wait, do we know who's doing the leaderboard?
So as far as I know, was it Mail?
Florian plus Tushar, I think last I remember. But if Florian you're busy, we can assign to somebody else. You tell us.
Well, I mean, me and Chin were working on it, and he said he would pick up like the clustering part of like all the experiments being run into like different fields.
I think I did that and I gave it to. Who did I give that off to? I think Tushar. I did cluster it. Yeah, I did cluster all the studies.
But the category of the study is in the metadata of the study.
Yep.
Well, all right. We
Okay.
maybe we'll do a grooming session for the tickets. I feel like that's kind of gotten away from for me, and I apologize. I need to be better at updating the tickets and updating the assignments. I'm sorry I haven't updated them in a while.
Chin, if possible, just share the file with me as well.